words from Hashki Venu, so you are welcome to join along in this new melody. Again, Shabbat Shalom to all of you here and to everyone joining us on the streaming. We're going to continue singing as we welcome Shabbat and as we continue celebrating this week of Sukkot with one of our favorites, In My Sukkah. So please keep on singing with us. If you don't know the words, this one's got a fun call and response too.
Yep, just repeat after me. I build a little sukkah.
I build a little sukkah.
Out and back.
Out in the back.
Looks like a house.
Looks like a house.
A little like a shack.
Little like a shack.
It's not too big.
It's not too big.
And it's not too high.
And it's not too high.
Sit inside.
When you sit inside,
You can see the sky.
you can see the sky.
Shake, shake, shake the lulav. Smell the etrog so sweet. Come take a look in my sukkah. Help yourself to something to eat. In my sukkah. In my sukkah. In my sukkah. I built the roof.
I built the roof
On sticks and
on
twigs.
sticks and twigs.
Strung up apples.
Strung up apples,
Nuts and figs.
nuts and figs,
Some bananas.
some bananas.
But that's not all.
That's not all.
There were fruits and veggies
Fruits and veggies
all over the wall.
all over the wall.
Shake, shake, shake the lulav. Smell the etrog so sweet. Come and take a look in my sukkah. Help yourself with something to eat. In my sukkah. In my sukkah. In my sukkah. I built my sukkah.
Built my sukkah,
Cloth and wood.
cloth and wood.
It looks so pretty.
Looks so pretty.
And it smelled so good.
Smells so good.
Leaves and branches
Leaves and branches
all around.
all around.
Goes down, wet the sun goes down.
Where the sun
I myself
goes
like,
down.
shake, shake, shake the lulav. Smell the etrog so sweet. Come and take a look in my sukkah. Help yourself with something to eat. In my sukkah. In my sukkah. In my sukkah.
That's a good one. I never knew that one before. It's a fun one. Absolutely. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone, for those of you who are joining us here in person and also on streaming, and also Chag Sameach, Chag Sukkot Sameach. We are excited to be celebrating Sukkot and Shabbat at the same time. And after we conclude services, or for those of you who are here in person, you're welcome to also join us in our sukkah, on the patio. Yeah, and we've got some, more than just one, we've got some lulav and etrogs if you would like to give them a shake. But first, we are going to welcome Shabbat with our warmth and light by lighting the candles. And I'd like to invite our own Gail Rose to light the candles for us. It's no AC anymore. Is the ending regular or is it for Sukkot? I don't know. We'll just do Shabbat. Okay. We'll just do it. I don't remember. Perfect. Thank you, Gail. Let's read together either on the slides or if you have a prayer book with you on page 3. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. We'll continue singing together with Lecha Dodi, page 20, or right here on the screens as we welcome the Sabbath bride.
Lecha Dodi, Lecha Kala.
Let's read together. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways. We'll continue singing in Shabbat with Baruch Hu, page 28, or here on the slides.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? La 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 la, la 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 la, la la la
And we'll continue with Ma'ariv, Aravim, our prayer of creation, of light rolling into darkness, fitting as we seek to connect with nature this Sukkot. Please join with me in the Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechochma poteach she'arim, uvitvuna meshana itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem, barakia kirtzono. We'll continue in the English. You are the creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai ha-ma'ariv aravim. And we'll continue reading together for Ahavat Olam. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them helps give meaning to our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. We'll continue together declaring God's oneness in Shema. If you would like, you are welcome to rise.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malachuto Le'olam Va'ed.
You may be seated.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levacha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'odecha v'hayu הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך דיברת בם ושבתך בביתך ולבטחך בדרך ושכבך וקומך וקשרתם לעוד על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם כל מצוותיי הייתם קדושים לאלוהיהם אני אדוני אלוהיהם אשר הוצאתיהם מארץ מצרים להיות להם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיהם.
We continue singing our way through the service with Mi Chamocha, our prayer of joy and freedom. Please keep on singing with us. We're on page 40 or right up here on the slides. To continue with this reading on page 43. It's not in our slides, but if you'd like to follow along in our prayer books, we're on page 43 as we sang earlier that God may create a shelter of peace, a Sukkat Shalom. These words are written by my teacher of blessed memory, Rabbi Richard Levy. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter, a sukkah, in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth, prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, Sukkat Shalom, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai haporei Sukkat Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Amen. We'll continue with Adonai Sifatai, beginning our Amidah, or standing prayers. So if you would like, if you are able, I invite you to please rise.
Ananana Svatai Tiftach. Ananana Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehila Techa.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor HaNara HaElyon Gomel HaSadim Tovim V'karnei HaKol V'zocher Hasdei Avot V'imor U'mevii Gehula Livnei V'neihem L'ma'an Shemo Ba'ahava Melech Ozer Moshiach Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai V'chayei HaKol Taraf L'Hoshia V'chakir Hayim B'chesed V'chayei HaKol B'rachamim Rabim V'hamrik Noflim V'rofei Holim Umatir Hasurim Umakayim Emunato Lishenei Hafar Michamocha Bal Givurot Umido Melech Melech Meimid Umakayeh Umatzliach Yeshua Ne'emat L'chayot HaKol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei HaKol.
Amen. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha sela Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
Amen.
You may be seated. We'll continue with the singing of Ritzeh.
Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu Be'amich Yisrael U'tefilitam be'ahava
We'll now take a few moments of silent prayer and meditation.
say shalom, shalom, Hallelujah, say shalom, Hallelujah, Ve'yakol Yisrael, Ve'yimu Amen. Say shalom, shalom, Hallelujah, say shalom, Hallelujah, Ve'yakol Yisrael, Ve'yimu Amen. Ve'yakol Yisrael, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and Chag Sameach. As I mentioned before, we are in the midst of the holiday Sukkot, in which we are encouraged to dwell in temporary structures or huts, Sukkot reflecting the dwellings our ancestors lived in while wandering in the wilderness. It's been quite a rainy Sukkot so far, unfortunately, which may have created some challenges for those of us who either built Sukkot or had plans to spend more time outside. But thankfully, the weather is nice this evening, so like I mentioned before, we can head out to our beautiful sukkah. Thank you to the Men's Club for building it and our staff for decorating. After services, if anyone would like to shake the lulav and etrog or just enjoy dwelling in the sukkah for a little bit. I want to share with you a story that we also love to share with our religious school kids. There was once a water bearer who had 2 pots, which hung on a pole that he carried across his neck. One of the pots was perfect and delivered a full portion of water every time. The other pot had a crack in it, and every time the water bearer finished his route, only about half the water in that pot remained. One day, the water bearer was on his regular route when he heard a voice, and he looked around and didn't see anyone when he realized the voice was coming from the pot with the crack in it. "Sir," said the pot, "I want to apologize to you." "Why would you need to apologize to me? And how are you talking?" said the water bearer. "Well, I have this terrible imperfection," said the pot. "You walk this whole way, and I could only give you half of the water as the other pot does." The water bearer smiled and said, "Look out at the trail on your side. Do you see all of these beautiful flowers next to the trail?" "Yes," said the pot. And indeed, next to the path, there was a gorgeous trail of flowers of all sizes and colors. The water bearer continued, "And can you see the trail on the other pot's side?" "Yes," answered the pot, and noticing for the first time exclaimed, "But there are no flowers on that side." "Precisely," said the water bearer, "because all these years I have known about your flaw. I have been planting seeds along the side of your path. I took advantage of this, and now you not only make the village more beautiful, but folks pick these flowers for their homes or to give to their loved ones. To me, what you call an imperfection has actually made our village all the more beautiful." On Sukkot, we're encouraged to meditate on the impermanence and fragility of the material world. Just like the pot, there are cracks in the ceilings of our sukkah, not just so that we can see the stars, but so that we're also vulnerable to the elements, like the rain we've been having all week. Those feelings of fragility might be even more poignant for us as we're over a year and a half into this pandemic. However, Sukkot also reminds us that just as the pot's leak creates more beauty, we can use this reminder of fragility to also be grateful for what we have and for the enduring relationships and love in our lives. As we think about relationships this Sukkot, let's turn to the famous Jewish philosopher Martin Buber. Buber lived from 1878 to 1965, and he lived in Germany and Israel. He is most famous for his I thou philosophy. Buber categorizes his understanding of relationships as I it or I thou. To Buber, an I-it relationship is any kind of interaction or relationship that is purely surface level or transactional. We often have I-it encounters with grocery store cashiers, waiters, customer service reps, etc. However, at times we can have I-it relationships with people who are closer in our lives. Buber describes that every interaction has the potential to ascend to an I-thou relationship. An I-thou interaction is a moment where we're really seeing the humanity in each other. We are fully present and connecting on a deeper level. Perhaps we're being vulnerable with each other, which Rabbi Benji spoke beautifully about on Kol Nidre last week. An I-thou relationship isn't something that we can force or pursue. It has to be organic. Many of us have probably had an experience where we were talking with a grocery store cashier or a waiter at a restaurant or a random stranger in line, and we suddenly sparked a conversation. We noticed a common interest. One of us shared something personal, and we see on the other end a human being. I remember once I was checking out some groceries at Lucky's and asked the cashier how she was doing. Instead of just saying fine, which she could have said, she said that her teenage son was going through his first breakup, and she was doing her best to console him. We talked about that unique pain of losing a first love and expressed support for her son. This is an I-thou interaction, and to Buber, this is when we experience God's presence. An I-thou interaction can be fleeting, it can be with someone we never see again, or we can cultivate lasting I-thou relationships with loved ones over time. Buber recognizes I-thou interactions can occur not just with other human beings. I'm sure many of us have had moments with beloved pets and animals, and those can be considered I-thou moments. Buber also says we have the potential to connect with anything living in the natural world, such as a tree, on an I-thou level. And one could perhaps also extend I-thou moments to other points of connection in human experience, such as music or even texts. Maybe even a cracked pot that has brought more beauty to your world. This Sukkot, as perhaps we're seeing more flowers and plants bloom due to the rain, may we have a greater awareness of the I-thou interactions and relationships in our lives, and that every interaction can become one of them. To me, it is no mistake that the sukkah mirrors another Jewish temporary dwelling, the chuppah, or wedding canopy. The fragility of the material world counteracts the enduring and sustaining power of our relationships and our commitments to each other. This Shabbat on Sukkot, may we consider how we can elevate I-it relationships to I-thou, from fleeting interactions to the people closest in our lives. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach. As we turn now to our healing prayer, our Misha Berach, we can think about perhaps those enduring friendships, those enduring relationships, and how much it can mean to reach out to someone and say, I'm thinking of you, I'm praying for your healing, as did our community. This evening, we are thinking of Catherine Adler, Marcia Ames, Marilyn Altman, Lynn Adams, Sarah Bates, Deborah Belford, Barbara Belford, Marjorie Block, Paul Branson, Joan Bray, Lee Boudin, Jack Cashman, Dave Sidarquest, Dorothy Cohen, Rob Cohen, Lily Kovitz, Adrian Crawford, Rick Crawford, Ty Delano, Tony Diegler, Carrie Ebert, Phil Edelsberg, Elaine Ellick, Don Feibel, Michael Fiorelli, Rachel Fish, Olivia Glick, Jean Goldberg, Jimmy Green, David Haas, David Hirsch, Harry Hirsch, Don Kerr, Alan Claudel, Peter Levy, Barb Lucas, Angel Marrero, Fred Martin, Minna Melton, Paul Mickelson, Connie Minarovic, and David Minarovic, Caleb Moses, Dick Nettleman, Robert Oakley, Nick Parisi, Aaron Phelan, Ian Phillips, Aaron Plasko, Eric Prostowski and Rashi Prostowski, Jessica Rathkopf, William J. Rees, Barry Richmond, Zachary Rowe, Emma Rose, Irving Rose, Paul Roth, Jeremy Rikus, June Sahara, Rolf Sauer, Susan Shermer, Barbara Schuster, Amitai Sella, Richard Schur, Lou Supowitz, Lauren Tate, and Robert Weiss. We're also thinking of Celeste Kennedy, Mira Dalton, Rachel Letterman, Jessica Shear, and Jason Beauregard. If there's anyone gathered here who has a name of someone in need of healing that they'd like to share, thank you. else have a name they'd like to share for healing? We'll sing together, Misha Berach.
Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Yishebera imotenu b'kol Abraham. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. And let us say, Amen.
We're going to begin concluding our service with Bayom Hahu. Please join us in singing.
Bayom Hahu, Yehieh Adonai Echad. Bayom Hahu, Yehieh Shemo Echad. V'ne'emar, as it is written, V'ne'emar, let me say Karuni, and that day God shall be one. V'haya Adonai, Melech kol haaretz, on that day God's name shall be one. Bayom Hahu, Yehieh Adonai Echad. Bayom Hahu, Yehieh Shemo Echad, U'Shemo Echad.
As we prepare for Kaddish, I invite you to please rise. As our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity, as we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. This evening, we're recalling those whom we've lost within the last 30 days and are observing yahrzeit for Libby Blakely, Mark Goodman Feinknopf, Margaret Friedman Vaughn, Lillian Melching, and Adelaide Menser. We're also recalling those whom we lost at this season in years past and are observing yahrzeit for Morris Allweiss, Sam Alpert, Rose Barton, Elizabeth Brown, Sidel Cooper, Robert Eisenman, Stanley M. Fischel, Ed Freundlich, Sam Friedman, Jerry Goldman, Abraham Cantor, Roz Leibovitz, Leon Levinson, Max Lewis, Sigmund Oppenheimer, Sanford Robb, Ada Roth, Mildred Roth, Maureen Sanford, Clyde Searfos, Lewin Shaw, Al Steinberg, Peter Taub, Joel Wachtel, and Toby Wilson. If you're recalling someone this evening, I invite you to say their name aloud or in your heart. For them and for those who have no one left to say Kaddish for them, we'll recite together. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehi Shemei Rabba Mivrach Le'alam Ulamei Almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shemei dekudesha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amin yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amin osei shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to Israel, to all the world, and let us say together, amen. You may be seated, and Bobby's already coming up here for some announcements.
Thank you, Rabbi, and Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom, everyone who have joined us here tonight and everyone at home. We have an exciting week ahead of us here at TBS, starting with Sunday. Rabbi, I'm sorry you just sat down. Do you want to share with people what is going on Sunday?
Great, happy to. This Sunday morning is our family opening day for religious school. Yay, in person, yay, so exciting. I'm very excited. 10:30 a.m. at Thompson Park, right down the road. We'll do some singing, we'll do some mixers. Everyone will meet their grades, their peers, and their teachers, and it's going to be great. And then our first regular morning at JCC New Albany will be the following Sunday, October 3rd. Yay! Very exciting.
Thank you, Rabbi. And the men's club is also meeting for poker here on Sunday at 7 p.m. So if you're interested in that, please, let any of us know, and we'll get you pointed in the right direction. We wrap up our holiday season on Monday at 6:30. The parking lot opens at 6 for what'll be a really nice, I think, Simchat Torah celebration. It'll be very intimate. We're going to actually sit on the parking lot instead of in our cars and around, and it'll just be, I think, a really fun evening. And then with next Friday being October 1st, it's our first Friday Shabbat, and we're going to be having pizza and a fun family-friendly service. So check out your e-window for details on how to RSVP and how to get your pizza. So that's it for the upcoming week. I want to thank you again, for all of you, for joining us and watching at home, and thank you for making TBS your Jewish home.
For Simchas Torah, the klezmer band will be there, minus all of the wind instruments. So.
But still, it'll still be a lot of fun.
Full string klezmer.
That's very funny. That's very funny. All right, we're going to come on over here for Kiddush and Motzi. Does anyone here like Manischewitz? Does anyone want to take this?
All right,
Natalie, you want to go for it? You want to come up here? You don't have to.
She wants to.
Yes, Natalie for the win. You earn many mitzvah points for drinking the Manischewitz instead of me. Well, okay. We can have a difference of opinion on that and Phantom Menace. All right, you want to sing together?
Sure.
Let's do it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen l'chaim.
Woo! Shoved it. All right.
Thank you,
Good job,
Natalie.
Natalie.
No, it's not. It's not fun. But I appreciate it. All right. I'm sure the challah will be a little bit more popular. So let's sing together. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is sung. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. You are welcome to come on up here after our closing song and grab some challah. And again, we will be coming out to the sukkah also after services. But for now, we'll sing Am Yisrael Chai.
Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael That was boxers or briefs. That was a tall note. Sorry. TMI.
Shabbat
Shabbat
Shalom!
Shalom,
Shabbat Shalom! Come join us in the sukkah.
Did we do my Israel song? I stand for Israel. Stand for peace in Israel and all the world. Tomech b'shalom b'Yisrael. Means I stand for you. Yeah, I did that. I love that. I did. I steal it from my places.
Renee Fleming, no, I don't.
Actually, they're sold out.
They are.